We haven't talked about Manchester United yet. Jim Ratcliffe chose this week to talk to the media and told us Manchester United could have gone bust at Christmas without his cost-cutting measures. Gab, are you buying this one?
No, because it's just not true. I think he did the thing where he wanted to project this sort of plain talking, tell it like it is, no BS nonsense. And so he comes out and he says, well, it was a mistake to extend Ten Hag and, and Ashworth. So in a way, he took responsibility for, that's what did it, right?
Yeah.
Ten Hag and Ashworth at 20 million. Now, you're not going to go bust at Christmas. It's absolutely impossible. They have credit facilities. Also, it's not his club. He doesn't own the club. Even if he goes bust and can't put any more money in, the Glazers have an asset. So they were never going to be insolvent at Christmas. But I think there's a lot of stuff that he said kind of for effect and talk about, and I think it's important that he talked. I do wonder. He's been criticized. He went on Gary Neville's podcast, and to be fair, Neville's, I think did ask some tough questions, but equally, Gary Neville, I think, is part of the task force to over the stadium redevelopment plan. So maybe not the best possible look there from Ratcliffe. Did you like hearing from him?
Like you, I take it with a pinch of salt. At the moment, I haven't seen what he's done particularly well. I didn't like his appointments in the first place of the hierarchy, particularly the one of Dave Brailsford, because that's a big issue, which I'm not happy with. And
why? Because he's bald?
No, because he was when the Sky racing was taking place.
All right, the lawyers are coming in.
Yeah,
I know where you're going.
That's where I'm not going to say any more than that.
Robbo, the following day, Ratcliffe spoke to the media again, this time to show off his plans for a new 100,000-seat stadium that is expected to cost £2 billion. It's all part of a wider redevelopment, blah, blah, blah. Look, I'll make it simple. Do you like the design? Because I know you're into aesthetics and art and architecture. People looked at it and said it's almost too easy. So, it looks like a circus tent.
Well, doesn't the Lord's, with its stand, one of its main stands, look like a circus tent? And I think it looks very nice. So I've got nothing against the Manchester United stadium. On the first viewer that I've seen of it, you like something different. I don't keep seeing the same stadiums being made over and over again, where they're just a big circle. No, you don't know where you are. So
it is a good point. Like, I think the Emirates, from a viewer perspective, is one of the best stadiums in England, just from how well you can see the game. It does feel totally cookie cutter, though, right?
Yeah.
So you don't mind it, and it's too easy to say circus tent. Okay, fine.
Now, the world of Juventus was shocked by reports of Andrea Agnelli teaming up with Red Bull to buy the club and take Jurgen Klopp with him as manager. What's your reaction to that, Gab?
So this story started on social, and then people went on with this. The Exor, who are the holding company of the Agnelli family, in which Andrea Agnelli has a small stake, still the second biggest stake, but it is the widest thing. They immediately poured cold water on this, and they said, no, there's no basis to this whatsoever. I cannot see the Agnelli family as in the Agnelli family, i.e. not just Andrea, selling Juventus. It's just not viable. There have been talk of Red Bull trying to get into Serie A, which is one market where they don't have a presence. But it would cost a ton of money. And the other thing is, I don't know if they would want Andrea Agnelli as a business partner. The reason he left because he was being investigated, and then there's a Super Cup debacle. No, I think they're dodging a bullet here, and I think Klopp is happy where he is. This was way back on Monday, but Newcastle United beat West Ham, one of your old clubs, 1-0 with a Bruno Guimaraes goal. Robbo, they're joint fifth in the table because I don't believe in goal difference. As you know, there's no such thing. And of course, they're playing the League Cup final this weekend. Should Eddie Howe be getting a little more love? They've had injuries, they've had difficulties.
Has he not had love? Do people not like
him?
You
know what? Other than people linking him with the England job post Tuchel, I don't know. I don't think he necessarily gets viewed in the same breath as others.
No, I think he should be given not love, but a lot of credit for what he's done at Newcastle and what he's doing at Newcastle.
Is he the best English manager in the Premier League, or alive today?
He has to be. Newcastle play quite a nice brand of football. I think they,
Well, except when they go full on like 5-4-1.
yeah, but
they only do that occasionally.
And if they win the League Cup or the Carabao Cup on Sunday, it'd be a great thing for the club. The first trophy they've won for however many years, 70 years, is it, or something, a major trophy.
No, it's not. They won the Intercity Fairs Cup in 1968.
Yeah, I said serious cups. Yeah,
was it Intercity Fairs Cup? And okay, it was before I was born, possibly before you were born too. But
so there we are. So I'm 60, so it has to be. Okay, I said nearly 70 years. It wasn't
before, but it's just after. But that's the UEFA Cup.
You
know that, right?
Yeah.
So it is a big deal.
Yeah, as it was then. So, I think he deserves a lot of credit. He'd get even more credit if he can get them into the top 4 and win the Carabao Cup.
Top 5 will be sufficient, I think.
Yes. So, Gab, going back to Juve, it's no secret that Thiago Motta is under severe pressure. What do you make of reports linking them to Stefano Pioli?
So, Pioli, of course, he's in Saudi right now, where he's coaching Al Nassr and Cristiano Ronaldo. They're not doing great. They're 4th in the table. They're 10 points back. I'm guessing if he's being considered, they don't look at this as like, oh, well, this is indicative of anything because the Saudi Pro League is its own thing. I think Pioli's a good coach. I think he's more of a safe pairs of hands coach. I think what they need is technical direction above them. I don't think Cristiano Giuntoli's been great. I think they need an idea. And I think the direction of travel that they're on with the young players, with trying to play a more engaging style of football than he did under Allegri is the right one. Motta, for a multitude of reasons, probably turned out to be the wrong choice. So I think Pioli would make sense short term. Longer term, I don't know.
Hasn't he always had a success in his first year, Pioli, at whatever club he's been to?
I don't follow Pioli's career on that basis. No, I think you might be getting him muddled with Antonio Conte, who what they have in common is
I followed his career.
It's just that Conte's got fake hair on his head. Robbo, remember that Matthijs de Ligt tug on Ashley Young when Everton were denied a late penalty in their 2-2 draw with Manchester United? On this very show, I said, Howard Webb, you have to come out and you have to explain, because there were a lot of question marks about this. And to his credit, I speak, Howard listens, and he explained.
Did he actually address you, though? Did he say, as Gab asked?
He did. He said, I wouldn't be doing this if not for the fact that Gab on the Gab and Juls show specifically asked me to do this.
It'd have been even better if he hadn't mentioned Jules. He just said you.
True.
Yeah.
He said it was the right call because Young accentuated the fault.
Yeah.
But, and this is to his credit, he did say Andy Madley, the referee, was not shown all the angles. Now there's this convoluted explanation that, well, Madley saw the tug and he actually gave it for Maguire's interference with him, something else, and Dale Johnson wrote about it. This is one of those things that, the PG Mile, like other organizations, when they give these briefings on background and stuff. And
the more they try and explain why they have given a penalty or why they haven't given a penalty, the worse it gets. All I think Howard Workman says, in my view, they got it right, or in my view, they got it wrong. You don't have to explain every little, because it's not like an offside. It's subjective.
I think what you do is, it's a terrible look that Madley wasn't shown.
Yes.
That, and you need to say he should have been shown it, and you need to go back and knock heads to whatever nerd operates the camera, because all the viewers on television saw it. They have the same picture. So whoever's responsible for it, needs to say, guys, why didn't you show this image as well? Especially when the world can see what Matthew's looking at.
Also back on Monday, Gab, Lazio held at home by Udinese, 1-1. They could have moved into the top 4.
They could have. I think Udinese are a really good side this season under Brunic. I think they had their eye a little bit on the Europa League. Of course, they won away to Victoria Pilsen, and the return legs played in a couple hours. But I think it's also about giving credit to Udinese, where they're in that stage when you have a smaller club that kind of ascends up the table a little bit, and then suddenly they play with freedom, and suddenly it's not just about getting results, and they can go away from home to a bigger side like Lazio and create problems for them. And I think what they're doing there is really interesting. Florian Thauvin, by the way, wow. What a second act, or maybe even third act to his career. Robbo, we love our predictions. The Premier League are just about certain to have 5 spots in the Champions League next year. Tell me who your 5 clubs are. And look, and I very helpfully listed the Premier League table, going all the way down to Fulham with 42. And before you laugh at Fulham, Fulham are entirely capable. Any team is entirely capable of making up 5 points in 8 games, difficult as it is.
I think it's going to be, obviously, Liverpool are going to win the title. Arsenal will come second. I think Forest will just about do enough to stay in third place.
Those are your 3. Forest at 51 points.
They're the easy ones, in my view. Now, Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle, Brighton. Brighton haven't been consistent enough. Newcastle, I think it could be Newcastle, and I'm going to go with Chelsea because I think Man City are going to lose more games than they're going to win from now to the end of the season.
More games than they're going to win.
Or certainly they're not going to win enough. They're so inconsistent at the moment, and the manager, as much as I love him as a coach and what he's done, I think he's struggling to find the right formula. Do they play with the real pace out wide? Do they play in their old style of part? He's caught up in 2 minds at the moment. So I don't think City are going to get into that top 5.
There you go, man. City and Aston Villa as well, 2 of this year's Champions League teams out of the Champions League. So saith Stewart Robson.
Yeah. The original Ronaldo was pulled out of his bid to become president of the Brazilian FA. Gab, what's your thoughts of that?
So I guess he can go back and focus on Valladolid, even though he put them up for sale and they're not doing great. Nobody wants to buy them. I have to give him a lot of credit. He explained why. And again, I love it when people are transparent and they're honest and direct. He comes out and he said, I went around, I spoke to voters and stakeholders, and, I had a plan. His plan involved giving the clubs more power within the Brazilian FA to help select the national team coach, to run national development programs. It's something that's been done elsewhere. It's something that's been done here in England, as you know, where, the clubs run the academies and stuff like that. And the voters, the stakeholders said no. And so he said, if I don't have a chance of winning, I'm not going to waste people's time by grandstanding and giving speeches and, sort of running on my popularity. If there's no appetite to do this, I'm going to step aside. So credit to Ronaldo here. I hope he finds a solution with Valladolid because, again,
he's getting a bit of stick off the fans as well.
He's getting a lot of stick there.